The Tiny Chef and the Mishing Weshipee Book by Rachel Larsen, Adam Reid, and Ozi Akturk. How are you today, my friends? How are you today? I don't want to sit on a kitten, my friends. Oh, deep in my heart, I want to say, I hope that you're okay today. Oh, deep in my heart, I want to say, I hope that you're okay today. How are you today, buddy? How are you today? Hi. I'm reading a very fun book today, The Tiny Chef and the Mishing Recipe Blook. Now, do you know who the Tiny Chef is? Oh my goodness. If you don't know who the Tiny Chef is, you can talk to the grown-up who is around you, your caretaker, your caregiver, your parent, your grandparent, your aunt, your uncle, whoever it is. And if they're comfortable, this very cool guy, the Tiny Chef, he has a channel on Facebook and he has a channel on Instagram. And I think you should be able to find some of his small videos on YouTube as well, which is where you find Mr. Greg. Anyway, the Tiny Chef is, of course, a tiny chef. And he's a wonderful, I don't know what he is, so I'm going to call him a wonderful guy. I'm assuming he's a guy. I don't know. So let's say that the Tiny Chef is a wonderful being. They are a wonderful being. Now, the Tiny Chef also has a little bit of a speech disorder. Did you know Mr. Greg had a speech disorder all the way until 5th grade? Yeah. I didn't pronounce all of the sounds in the way that I would eventually come to pronounce them today. Yeah. And the Tiny Chef, when they say the missing recipe book, they say the missing recipe book. Yeah. So we're going to read this book. Isn't that right, buddy? Okay, do you see what's happening is Mr. Greg just had a shower and put cocoa butter on his leg, and apparently cocoa butter smells and tastes really good. All right, ready? Go ahead. I'm gonna put you up on the thing, okay? Because I have to go over there and read. Okay. All right, here you go. All right, guys, here we go. Oh, the splash page is very beautiful. And it is a pattern. Do you see this pattern? Yeah. It is a diagonal checkered pattern. So it becomes diamonds. If I held it like this, it would look like squares, wouldn't it? But it's set up like diamonds. And in the middle of each little square is a spoon and a spatula. This book is dedicated for the Tiny Chef inside every one of us. Ooh, and there's his special recipe blook. The Tiny Chef and the missing recipe blook. This lovely old stump on this ordinary street is home to a creature you really must meet. I want you to see all the beautiful details. We have a butterfly. We have a beautiful homemade fence. You come over here to this beautiful tree stump, and here's a little sign that says Tiny Chef. He loves games and music and especially books. He is the Tiny Chef, and he lives to cook. This is his kitchen. But what happened here? What a disaster! Oh my word, oh my dear. And where is the chef in this torn apart stump? If you look closely, you'll spot just his rump. Bang. My goodness. Why has the tiny chef created such a mess of all of his pots and pans? I think we shall find out. What's wrong, tiny chef? Can we give you a hand?
My weshipee blook has gone missing, my friend.
Oh no. It finally happened. Good golly, good gosh, the chef's precious recipe book appears to be lost. Do you see the chef's face here? You think that feeling is sad, concerned, worried? Certainly sad. This book contains secrets to chef's very best dishes, the creations he makes when he feels most ambitious. Like the blegafomai he makes once a year on the first day of fall, and that day is here.
Blegafomai.
Let's see some of the things that are on here.
Yes. Basho S's Mappy birthday. 5 days in my penny birthday. My penny birthday.
Oh, he's got so many wonderful ingredients, huh? So he looks in his fridge and in other odd places, like under his bed and in dark, smelly spaces. With no book in sight, the chef throws quite a tantrum.
I cannot believe this actually happened.
What do you think's happening there on his face? He cannot believe this actually happened. He's very angry. Yeah. And when the tiny chef becomes very angry, much like Mr. Greg, when I still had my speech disorder, his speech becomes even more difficult.
I cannot believe this actually happened.
Uh-oh. Oh, good for you, chef. Count down from 10, chef. Let all worry go. Let's take a deep breath. And let it out slow. Have you ever learned that technique for when you become very, very angry? It's a technique Mr. Greg has learned, and it's one that everyone can do. When I feel very angry on the inside, and the way that I feel anger is my muscles get very tight and my eyebrows go together and I get very tense and I start to clench my teeth. And what I can do is I can count down from 10 and breathe like this. I'll start with 10 and then I'll do it quietly. 10. I like breathing into my nose and out of my mouth. But that's not important. The only important thing to do is to breathe and to pay attention to that breath. Even when you're all like this.
Oh, I can't believe it.
You see my shoulders dropping. And the chef is using that method. It's very clever, very smart. Good job, chef. Oh, look. And now it looks like he's going to go out into his garden. His herb garden forest is just steps away and towers above him with branches that sway. How beautiful, huh? The smell in the air of rosemary and thyme makes his clipping and snipping well worth the time. Rosemary smells so wonderful. Oh, the mushroom trail with its damp grassy floor. Oh, what a harvest, portobellos galore. How can he resist? He takes some to go, so tasty and hearty as our tiny chef knows. This looks delicious. He has a little chainsaw that he has to use. Back at the stump, the chef dumps out his haul and begins the big task of making it small.
He slices some garlic as thin as he can, then sautés it up in his bottle cap pan. He mixes in mushrooms, potatoes, then stirs, tossing in carrots, some celery, and herbs. That looks delicious. Isn't that interesting? His pan is a bottle cap, and there's a little clove of garlic. And he's cutting celery, I see, and tomatoes, and portobello mushrooms. The tiny chef sings as he gleefully cooks. He's forgotten all about his lost recipe book. He straightens his hat. The stew now needs to simmer. Dum, 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 ba-dum, dum, ba-dum, dum. Oh my goodness, look, he has a little banjo. So he keeps himself busy singing songs about dinner. Waiting is hard with a rumbling tummy, but he knows that the waiting will make it more yummy. Oh boy. When the moment arrives, the chef gives it a try. It's so delicious, he actually cries. Have you ever had something so delicious you... Uh-oh. 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 And that's when his recipe book finally appears. It was hidden under the lid the entire time, right where he'd left it. Now, isn't that weird? What do you think that face may be showing? What emotion? Yeah, maybe he's surprised. Maybe he's thinking, oh boy. The chef can't believe it. His little heart bursts. It was there all along. Did you see it first? We did see it first, didn't we? Now the tiny chef knows just what to do with his new favorite recipe, blook. He wrote all the steps down as best as he could, then found a blank page and taped it in good. See, we've got blook, yum, 1/43 clove garlic, 1 tablespoon Barris, 1 tablespoon bouillon, 1 tablespoon portobello mushroom, 1 time shine pinch, rosemary pinch, chopped celery, woofy chopped, sauté for terroux change. Ooh. The chef realized he'd learned so much today about feeling lost and then finding his way. Staying inspired is truly an art, and the very best recipes come straight from the heart. See, and the illustrators have given us some items from the story. Some vegetables and a bottle cap pan and a cutting board. A thimble is his tablespoon. An oven mitt, some cutting boards, rosemary, a pot, perhaps a tiny bit of cheese. And look at this. On the final page, we have this recipe for blook. And guess what? You've met Miss Jen before, yeah? So Mr. Greg went this morning. Mr. Greg always goes grocery shopping, almost always goes grocery shopping on Sundays. So I wrote down all of the ingredients that we did not have, and I went to the grocery store, and I bought them. And Miss Jen made blook, which really is vegetable stew. Would you like to see it? I'm going to try some right now. Okay, let me go get it. I'll hold it up for you, too. Okay, here we go. See this bowl? See that? Ooh. See the carrots and the mushrooms, and there's celery in there. And this, it actually looks like a potato, but it's not. It's a daikon radish, because we don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, so we don't eat many potatoes. But we were able to substitute daikon radishes. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It is very delicious. Look, if you want the recipe, I'll take a picture and send it to you. Or if you have the book, you should try this recipe. Now, this is completely vegan. Did you know the tiny chef was a vegan? Mm-hmm. He eats no animal products.
all vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds. But if you did eat meat, I feel like you could put beef in here. This could be a really lovely beef stew. But it's perfectly wonderful as a vegan stew. Okay. It was so nice to hang out with you today. I hope that you find the Tiny Chef. Again, I know he's on Instagram and I know he's on Facebook. And all of his videos are very short and wonderful. They're about 45 seconds. And he's just so funny and charming. And so are you. You are so funny and charming. I'm very happy to be friends with you. And I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Mwah. Legofish, so good. So good.